Yo, what is going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today I've got my first ever weekly chapter review for Samurai 8. I can't wait to start these weekly reviews because as of right now, I'm extremely loving what Samurai 8 is doing, and this chapter was no different. And in fact, the thing I took away from this chapter more than anything else is something I've never really took out from a shonen series this early on, and that is, and I feel like I'm becoming what I hate the most, but I actually took away a ship from this chapter because there's some genuine good shouts for some interesting foreshadowing that happened in this chapter. Now obviously the chapter I believe was called Cut the Cake Tank, because obviously there was the tank that was in the shape of the cake and blah blah blah. And what the interesting part was, and what made me ship instantly Nanashi and Hachimaru, was that together they both cut the cake in the same type of style, somewhat, maybe less samurai-ish in real life anyway it would be. It's cutting the cake with your husband and wife at a wedding. So yeah, that's actually genuinely not the thing that excited me most, because there's one thing which I'm sure we were all extremely on edge about right at the end of the chapter that excited me the most. But this I thought was really interesting because it's not something I usually take away, like I said, from chapters this early on in a series, because usually I don't really care too much about ships. But I thought that was, whether or not it was intentional, I'm not too sure. I mean, Kishimoto, he's not dumb. I'm sure, you know, if they end up being together, that there'd be some sort of reference to cutting the cake just like this. But I thought it was very clever, and I appreciated the subtle potential foreshadowing, or just in general nice moment for all of you shippers. And you know, maybe I'm joining you in that category. Damn, I'm becoming what I hated most. Talking of Nanashi, part of me is gutted that she's not actually joining the crew just yet. I was kind of baited by Kishimoto. I thought this was going to be Hachimaru's first real friend to join him on his adventure, because we're all imagining that at some point there's going to be a new version of kind of High 11 type thing, but the main few, you know, he's always going to have his main little group of friends. And I thought Nanashi was going to be the first one of those. Now I think Nanashi will be one at some point, because Kishimoto, she's going to obviously play some form of relatively large role in the series at some point, because otherwise Kishimoto wouldn't have spent 2 of the first 3 chapters dedicated to her and Hachimaru's relationship if she was just going to end up being a nothing character. So although I was a bit surprised that she didn't become one of Hachimaru's first friends to join him on his adventure, I'm sure that it was done for a reason, and I'm extremely excited to see what the situation, the circumstances are like when Nanashi finally reappears at some point in the series, whether that be sooner rather than later or way down the line, maybe like time skip, something like that. I'm not too sure. I know Kishimoto only plans for the series to be around 10 volumes long. Now obviously that is likely to change, but I don't think it'll change too much, so it's interesting to see how much is going to actually be happening in a potentially short amount of time. But something that's definitely being built up to, and I really liked during this chapter, because although we saw Nanashi and Hachimaru fighting, it felt more like a bonding session, more like them having fun, coming to understand each other. Hachimaru just doing what he's always wanted to do, and essentially life is looking good for both of them. You know, both of them are living their dream essentially together for the first time. And then it instantly cuts to Daruma, I believe that's his name, Daruma, talking to Hachimaru's dad, and it seems like he suspects him of something. He says something along the lines of, you know, I knew blah blah blah, something wasn't right here, something along those lines. He says, explain who you really are. Now, is he actually Hachimaru's father? That's the big one right now, because part of me is starting to think, you know what? They don't actually look anything alike. They don't, personality-wise, they don't seem too similar. You know, I mean, obviously that could be because it's quite often that some children just predominantly take over one parent, but at the same time, where is Hachimaru's mother? We've never met her, seen her, had mention of it. Obviously, we're only 3 chapters in as of right now, but question marks are starting to show in places, you know. Obviously, Hachimaru's father seemed extremely concerned for him, for Hachimaru back in chapter 1, I believe. So, was that an act, and is he not actually Hachimaru's dad? Is he just a foster parent and he's not told the truth to Hachimaru? Or is there something a bit more darker and sinister laying beneath all of it? But they are my initial thoughts on this chapter. Chapter 3, absolutely fantastic, and I definitely can't wait for chapter 4 now. Just to find out what on earth is going on with Hachimaru's dad. Whether or not he is the father. Oh, it's like Jeremy Kyle may have been cancelled, but you know what? We don't need it anymore because we've got Samurai 8, ladies and gentlemen. Kishimoto season is firmly upon us. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm called you guys. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad for more Samurai 8 reviews and more coming up soon. I'll see you guys in another video. But until then, peace.